Jacky Winter, often described as a solemn or a sombre bird of the Australian woodland. Jacky is a robin, for he belongs to the family Petroicaceae, otherwise known as Australian robins, and is the songster of this family, well known to sit on a perch and call to its mate or call to its young to come and get fed, or to sing just for pleasure as the sun rises in the morning. The call is melodious and lacks the clacking noise of the other robins. Early taxonomy of this bird placed it in the muscicarpa or flycatcher group, giving it the name brown flycatcher, for brown was the dominant colour on the bird wing. It was also occasionally called the white flycatcher because of the white belly. Like all flycatchers and robins, these birds are insectivores, and the reason why it was placed as a flycatcher in its initial taxonomic classification is that it can feed on the wing. However, most of the feeding is done on the ground, but it does not spend a lot of time on the ground. Instead, it observes from a perch like most robins and dives down, catching its prey, then quickly returning back to the perch, or feeding by sallying. If the prey is large, it may eat it on the ground, but more often returns to a perch to feed. While sallying, if the bird misses the prey, it will more than likely return to the same perch.
The term Jacky Winter came from early colonial days, when people would dig in the ground, turn over the earth. Jacky Winter was the first bird to come looking for worms. This was very similar to the robins in England that came in winter, so the name Winter stuck. Jacky Jacky was the call, and so Jacky Winter was the final name. The genus name, Microica, is given to two other species in Australia, the yellow-legged flycatcher and the lemon-bellied flycatcher.
Jacky Winter is often found in small family groups, 2 to 5 birds. They are insectivores. If you watch Jacky Winter leave a perch, often he will return to the same perch. He may look rather sad, for it usually means if he comes back to the same perch that he's missed the catch in flight. Look at this Jacky Winter. Caught a grub on the ground, come back to the perch, beaten the grub to death. It must be a female. It's multitasking, both holding the grub and singing, or more likely calling the young to come for a meal. A nest. A Jacky Winter goes, and the other Jacky Winter comes. One the male, one the female. These birds are isomorphic. I can't tell the male from the female. And the nest, look at it, rather inconspicuous. Looks very much like the dead branch on which it sits. It's a typical robin style nest. Little twigs put together with spider web and a little bit of mud. I generally don't photograph at nests, so this was an extremely short video, and I've put it into slow motion. Just watch now, as the bird sitting at the nest swap, and then the one remaining on the nest gets excited, knowing that food is soon coming. And that's what these birds call about. Largely, it relates to food. And watch as the shimmer develops in the bird sitting at the nest, knowing that this food is going to be for her. A small spider, probably taken from gleaning from the tree. Jacky Winter has 3 subspecies, geographically defined by the western, northern and eastern zones. Throughout this video, you have seen the whole 3. It's very hard to tell the one from the Kimberley from the others. It is just smaller in size, but otherwise looks the same. The other 2 subspecies are very similar looking externally, but if one was to get the bird in the hand and tip it upside down and look at the tail, there is variation in the white line of the tail. I have tried to demonstrate this, unfortunately without success. You may have noticed that some birds have very white on the chest and some have a dull buff. It's said that the more central to Australia the bird is, so the whiter is the chest. Jacky Winter is not a threatened bird. I suspect, like most woodland birds, the numbers have diminished. What surprises me most in rural areas is once urbanisation happens, so Jacky Winter departs. This has been the same with most of the robins. They cannot now be found in metropolitan suburbs. I mentioned that Jacky has quite a good morning song call, and this is typical of it. I initially in fact thought that this was a rufous-rumped songlark. It was singing high in the tree, but it doesn't have the razor quality of the songlark. If you listen carefully, there is also a songlark calling in the background, and this was my initial confusion. The genus for Jacky Winter is Microica. This is a different genus than most of the robins. There are several genera of robins in Australia, and this classification usually reflects the colour, for instance the red robins, the yellow robins, and the black and white or hooded robin. A female hooded robin on the bush. If you look at it from the back, it's obviously a hooded robin with those white stripes, but as it turns it can easily be mistaken for a Jacky Winter, but the difference is there is no brown. Another similar bird, but this one has markings on the side wing, a female or juvenile red-capped robin. We will leave you with some singing Jacky Winters and those doing stretches. These are fabulous little birds in the Australian bush, so I admonish you to get out and observe the nature of creation. On behalf of Plumes of Oz, thank you for watching. If you would like to subscribe to Birds in the Wild by Plumes of Oz, at the end of this video just click on the P and you'll get automatic notifications of our next release.